Hello, internet friends. Welcome back once again. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. Going to start off with a quick apology if you guys do not like the sound quality of this video in terms of the commentary. I am still kind of in the process of figuring out the editing software on the new computer, the input mic, all of that stuff. Every level is way different than anything I've worked with previously, and it's a real struggle bus right now. Trying to balance certain aspects out. I've put off getting an actual microphone for about as long as I think I could afford to, and probably much longer. But that's becoming more of a present. Maybe all my videos had this terrible audio quality before, and I just didn't care enough to notice until now. But if that's distracting to you, I apologize for that. But just bear with me while I get everything figured out, and hopefully the quality of the talks will will make the quality of the sound itself more palatable to you. So you're seeing some weird things in the background. This is a high bar squat, or at least my version of it. And it kind of leads into the topic that I want to cover today. More or less a lot of updates, getting caught up with the training footage, sharing that with you guys, kind of plans moving forward, approaches we're taking in training. This is from a couple of weeks ago, actually, so it's not really as current. Still doing high bar squats. Still, you're going to see some conventional deadlifts. Those are happening. But what I really want to get into is the idea that we're doing these for very specific reasons. It's not just training variety for the sake of training variety. We're trying to improve a few things. And just moving forward into the next meet, if you guys checked out the video where I was talking about nationals and you saw the lifts there, I was very happy with that performance, but I definitely found a lot of things that we could build on and grow from. And as a team, Eric Haney and myself are kind of putting a lot of intentionality into this next training block, transitioning into some bigger and better things. So first off, the meets that we're prepping for right now are going to be the Raw Challenge at the Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio at the beginning of March. It's March 3rd. It's a Friday. And then also I was honored with an invite to the Pro Deadlift Challenge, which is Sunday, March 5th at the Arnold Classic. So we're prepping me for a full power raw meet, followed immediately by a single lift, single ply deadlift only event. And it's exciting and new for me, pretty challenging. I think I've had fast turnarounds before. In the past, I think I did a full power meet and then a strongman meet within probably 2 or 3 weeks of that, and then a single ply deadlift only meet within a few more weeks of that. So this is a more extreme version of that, I suppose. Generally speaking, when I compete without equipment, I tend to not feel too beat up because of how crazy some of the volumes get in my training on their own. So fingers crossed that that a little bit of extra practice and working on those things can can provide us with a pretty good performance at both events. My goal and my focus is definitely going to be on bringing my best total to the Raw Challenge, and then just kind of having fun and doing whatever I can with the suit on Sunday following that. So that's kind of the direction we're taking. Everything else kind of serves as the work towards those as being the goals. Also, I think that if I haven't mentioned it already, or I've talked to a few people about it, the direction right now, I believe, is that we're going to be taking me up a weight class. I wish that USAPL and IPF had a 220 class, because I think that's where my body really would just love to live in terms of weight classes. It's not that I don't think that I can make the 205 class. I just feel like I will have a better chance to progress moving up, because my body tends to be more resilient to training when I am a little bit heavier. In the past, I've felt a very distinct difference even between like 210 and 212 in how I react, and how resistant I can be towards overuse injuries, specifically in my bad shoulder, or in just different areas in my lower body from squatting specifically. So those two lifts I feel like are going to benefit more. This is Eric and Hanny both kind of thought it would be a good idea. I agree. I I'm not turning my back and saying that I'll never potentially look into competing as a 205 again. But I think that I've kind of been around this body weight, this lower body weight, for such a long time in my lifting career that while we may be able to fine tune a couple of improvements out at that body weight, I feel like our attention will be better spent giving me a little bit more of me to work with. So I'm excited for that. The idea of potentially breaking some new ground and not just setting new body weight PRs, but actually pursuing some marked all-time improvement and chasing some new numbers that I've never done before is exciting and creates a little bit of some anxiousness that I don't know if I've felt in a while. So that's kind of what the general plan is right now in terms of the goals that we're moving towards, slowly moving up a weight class. I do not think that I will be 231 in March. If I am, it's probably not going to look like a very healthy or just good idea of a 231. I'd be a little fluffy churro at that point. But I think that 220, considering that my last training cycle, I was probably around 211, 212 pretty consistently. I think that 220 wouldn't be as sloppy as it sounds going from a 205 competition to around the 220 body weight. Referencing the actual lifting that we've been doing, a lot of it has been focused on building work capacity, on getting volume in, and trying some different movements. Not quite so much just to work on weaknesses, but to allow me a little bit of time to, I guess, sort of kill the ego and re-pattern a few things. I think that at the meet we found a couple of there was a little bit of lift efficiency and effectiveness that we were losing from some suboptimal motor patterns, and so we if I have less weight on the bar and I try a couple of variants, it allows me to kind of forget some of those bad habits, so that when we get back to the competition lifts specifically, I'm focusing so much on just hitting positions and working towards being perfect every single time that intentionality and that focus can pay off more by actually improving the lift instead of just jumping back up into numbers that are more challenging within the movement itself, where I'm fighting to have to maintain positions that aren't as ingrained. I've been doing this a long time, and I think it was necessary, and I think that the approach we're taking was that it is necessary for me to allow myself to forget some bad habits by taking some time away from just hammering the same movements over and over and over again. And also, we think that it would be beneficial at preventing overuse injury, especially with how much volume we're kind of cramming in to this, trying while we're while we're bringing my body weight up, making it not just sloppy throwing everything in there and just having it kind of land wherever it does. We want to make sure we're putting the body weight on the appropriate areas, and that has kind of warranted a more hypertrophy through bodybuilding style approach with some high bar squats that I'm less comfortable with and I have to use less weight on because it taxes my my spinal neutrality a lot more to do that and stay upright with my long femurs, or the conventional deadlift where again the long femurs poke out in front. I have to take weight off the bar and focus so much harder on reestablishing a neutral spine at the beginning of the lift because my torso is so short and my legs are so long that it would just probably bend right way through the thoracic spine, working on getting a more consistent neutral spine through that lift and then executing it. And that's kind of the approach that we're taking here, is at least my pursuit is to take the work that Eric and Hanny have given me and then apply a high expectation of execution to the lifts. It's not just about the programming. Programming is great, and you will benefit more from a solid plan than you would from having a suboptimal plan. But the most important factor is going to be your execution of that plan. the quality that you are forcing yourself to put into whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's weightlifting, whether it's some other skill that you're working on, the the time and attention you put into perfecting that thing and executing it to the best of your ability, and then to constantly seek improvement of that ability is going to be the most beneficial thing. That's one of the reasons why, when you think about like nutrition in general, a lot of people cheat on their diets or fail to follow through with their diets. It's not that they don't know what they should be doing or shouldn't be doing. We are emotional creatures. We have these emotional pulls that take us away from maybe a value driven goal of the kind of thing that you want to achieve. And it takes a lot more discipline. You're seeing right now in the sumo deadlifts that I'm doing, there's not a lot of weight on the bar. I could knock these out no problem, but I'm trying to be very intentional and reset and find the right starting position before I carry out the lift, because I'm using this opportunity while there's less weight on the bar, while the work itself may be easier in terms of how close I am to failure or how difficult it is for me to complete the work that's assigned, but I'm trying to execute it more effectively, get more work out of the same amount of work, if that makes sense. Out of the same the same assigned work, I'm trying to get more benefit out of it, I guess is a better way to say that. And that's something I try to talk to my athletes about too. When I'm coaching someone, they say, "Oh, I want more. I want to do more. This was too easy." I might tell them, "Okay, that's great. I'm glad that that was easy for you. But if you can work to get more benefit out of that, you can every single lift you have, every single repetition that you are assigned in your programming, every time you get to touch that bar and move through that motor pattern, you're either refining and practicing a good skill, or you are ingraining a bad habit and you're practicing that bad habit." So that's something that I've really tried to embody in these last few weeks. And I really think it's going to pay off. I think the combination of getting myself into a caloric surplus to gain some weight, having a very specific focus of what we're moving towards, with this meet that is a big meet that we're really trying to bring my best for, and my time and attention to work on some weaknesses and build up the abilities that I have by focusing on being more effective with my training and focusing so much on the execution of the plan. I'm feeling really good that things are moving in a positive direction. I'm also going to be trying to execute a more consistent pattern with these videos. If I can figure this audio stuff out, I really hope that it will make a big difference. But I do have a lot that I have kind of been stalling on putting out there. But I'm kind of getting a fire lit under myself right now to continue pushing and having that happen. So thank you guys for your patience and your continued support. I have a lot of things coming up, and I will do my best to follow through with them with as little delay as possible. So thanks once again. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye.